But so many of the streaming services are just like, I'm not sure we're going to be continuing this service because there's no income. Disney's losing a ton of money. I think because of stupid management decisions, but even so, you need to make good shows, you need to attract the audience. The latest thing I heard from Disney is they're looking to sell Lucasfilms. Well, that's one of your big money makers. And if you sell Lucasfilms, then that's the production company gone. Whoever buys it might start making good Star Wars stuff again, but they could license that out to Netflix or someone else. So it's not, I don't think it's a good image as a business. I haven't heard what their plans are for Marvel, but you know, potentially they could go the same way with that as well. So again, 8-meter cedar is a little bit narrow for this tractor. I don't think this map really supports a bigger cedar. You know, 12 meter, 16 meter, that would be crazy. But I mean, we learnt this back on Lawfolds. We started out with an 8-meter cedar behind a Class Axion 900, and I just couldn't make the 180-degree turn smoothly. The tractor turned a little bit wider than that. And then when we got the hang of GPS, I was all in for that, because we can do what I'm doing here, which is line the planter up on the next row. Row plus one. And we could cover the field in the fewest possible runs down the field. I wasn't leaving half rows here and there. Well, we're coming up to 12 o'clock, so we may call this soon. I probably need to go and wake up Mrs. Osa and see when the kids need to come over. So I will finish off this game day. I'll finish off planting this field with grass. So now that we have 2 grass fields, that's a good thing, or that will be a good thing. Gives us food for the cows, which we're a little bit struggling with at the moment. Obviously the maize is still a problem, but as time progresses we'll be able to turn over a couple more fields to maize. We'll probably stop producing whole crop silage and just go to a grass and maize silage mix for the cows. If I move to a new map, I'll probably do that there as well, and we'll dispense with even attempting to use the robot. Then what else do we want? We still need to up the production of grains for the grain mill, or for the flour mill. Grain mill, flour mill, whatever mill it is. And yeah, I'll get the rest of the oats transferred down to the mill, I may transfer a batch of flour down to the bakery so that we can start producing bread before the end of the month. We'll collect the straw bales up. I'll put them in the straw shed or the bale shed. I will not start the whole crop silage off camera, but we'll probably move through to July 2. I may mulch the oat fields if I clear the bales, just general stuff. And actually, if I can clear the bales and mulch the 2 oat fields, I won't be so concerned about switching the rollers over to rolling and coming here and rolling this field, because that needs doing. It doesn't cost me any money, it's just a hassle. So as soon as this field's been rolled, I can put the mulcher back on, because we'll have the sorghum and cornfields to mulch when they eventually get harvested. I really want to get up to 5 o'clock game time, see if we make another batch of money. Oh. Again, I have the John Deere's cruise control set to 10 miles an hour because the last thing we did was mow with it, and it needs to keep slow so that the baler can keep up. I think if we go to course play, I won't have to worry about that quite so much, because you can create a course with the mower and set the mower off, and then you can copy the course to the baling tractor, and the baler can just follow the course around, and I don't have to use follow me quite so much at that point. Lower that, hopefully we fill the gap. There you go. Nice. I do like this tractor. This tractor, it's a surprise. I've never had John Deere on any of our farms in the past, primarily because John Deere wasn't in the game, and I'd kind of settled on Smetty's class series of tractors. But since class came into the game, I started including John Deere mods as part of that. I think the trick with me is I'm not necessarily oversold on let me load every single mod. I'm more there's a little bit more consideration goes into it for me, and I think we're going to have to back up and fix that. So I might drop some of the vehicle mods that I'm using in this series. If we go to a new farm, we'll switch things out a bit. What I may end up doing is using a little bit more Kubota on a new map. But maybe not the Kubota. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a somewhat orange farm when it comes to grass handling, and less of a green farm. Maybe add some blue and red. But with tractors, I try and cycle through because there are so many options. I mean, you can get a New Holland, you can get a Case, you can get a John Deere, and they're all the same horsepower and they're all the same capabilities. So I'm not, I'm more, what's the word for it? There's more consideration when I do that. Oh, we haven't had a New Holland on the farm for a while. Maybe I'll do a New Holland tractor for that. This series, there's been a little bit more consideration on the, well, maybe it's whatever comes up in the store. But we'll shuffle that around, I think. And as I said, maybe improved store sales or whatever the mod is called. It allows you to enable the store to have more equipment for sale. Typically, we seem to be limited by about 4 or 5 pieces of equipment, and when you get the 5th one, this first one's about to disappear. What the heck is that's? A tiny round bale wrapper that's very big and very horsepower hungry. But yeah, all of those things. We'll take a look at some of the equipment. Obviously, I've got year 1 season pass, year 2 season pass. So there's equipment there that I just haven't even looked at because, well, we've already got the equipment on the farm. So I'll stick with the equipment that's on the farm. But the Govil is available. The Kubota tractors, I don't think I've ever used a Kubota tractor on anything. Just because it came out when it came out, and it doesn't have anything that I look at and say, oh, that fills a gap. Now the Kubota equipment pack, definitely good. And the reason I look at that, last version, Farm Sim 19, we got the Cavern Vicon equipment pack. Absolutely brilliant pack. It gave us the fast bale, which is okay, but you need very small working widths on that, or it just it runs too. In my mind, it runs too slow because it limits the tractor's speed to the amount of product it can. The amount of product that it can bale and wrap without stopping. So if you've got too big of a swath coming in, that's more than it can bale and wrap, so it slows down so that the wrapped bale drops off the back as the created bale transfers to the wrapper. And with a really big swath, you end up doing 1 mile an hour with that piece of kit. But it had a bunch of other stuff, which was quite nice. Apart from the fast bale, I don't think much of anything else from that Cavernan DLC ended up in Farm Sim 22 base game. But over the course of the first couple of months after release, Giants released those pieces of equipment. But each one was a single piece of equipment for each mod. So you can get the Vicon mowers, you can get the Kverneland seeders and planters, but it's one piece of equipment per mod. When the Kubota DLC was released, we only got the tractors and the front loaders. But someone else produced the Kubota equipment pack, which was basically everything from the Vicon Kverneland pack with the Kubota badge. So I kind of prefer having one mod pack with all the equipment in rather than one mod for each piece of equipment, because I have to remember to download them and install, select each one, and it just makes my mod selection list a handful. It's like the Bogolt DLC. Those all got released by Giants for FarmSim22 as single mods. So, you can add them, but it's a bit of a pain. You have to be selective. I guess the choice is there is, do I want to use this piece of equipment or not? Because if I don't want to use it, then I can just skip it. And we can see that, I think in the seeders, I did add this one, which is by Giants, 240 horsepower, 8 meters. So it's a good size seeder. And if I hadn't bought whatever it is, the one I have, the Vedastat Rapid 800S, which is similar, then I might have bought the Bogolt, but the rest of the Bogolt pack is like actually they don't have many big seeders. It's more like this thing, which 15 meters, and or the planters. There's some huge, things like this thing, 350 horsepower, 18 meters, 340 horsepower, 18 meters. That's 12. But imagine trying to wield one of those in a field that size. It just gets unmanageable. So I don't have to select all of them, but if I was playing on American farm, maybe I would end up doing that. Okay, that is grass planted. We're done with the grass planting. We're still 2 minutes before 5 game time. So I guess we can take this back to the other yard. So that's all the planting we've got to do in July, and probably August. I might plant canola. I don't know if I'm going to bother planting canola. Probably doing this all the long way round. We will clean the seeder and then we'll unload it. So all the seeds will germinate and then grow in the seed tank. But yeah, okay, we'll drive this home. And as I said, we want to roll. I want to grab the bales. So maybe we'll set up for that. But yeah, for the whole part, that was a productive day. We're approaching the end of the day. We just made another £5,000, so that's a good thing. So our BGA, while it's running, let's try not to break anything, is a good thing. The problem is I don't think we can keep it running for very long. In spite of the amount of manure we're producing, that thing just chews through it at obscene rates. We would probably need about 500 cows to produce that much manure, and I really don't think we could make the stuff, make the food to put in the front end. Although we could probably afford to buy it because of the amount of milk we'd be producing. Okay, let's sneak that in there. Off, and there are trailers there. Okay, so I have a bunch of bales to collect and stack, and bags of seed to run into. You can go there, and we'll jump out of here, and we'll do some manual stacking just to finish the episode. Ooh, that's a little loud. Well, I guess that's what you have to live with when you don't have a cab to insulate. And we're probably going to have to order some more seeds soon as well. I do like this. I'll probably end up keeping a skid steer of some description somewhere, because they're very useful for this type of thing. I am finding having loaders with specific attachments tends to work out quite nicely. That's not really what I want to have happen. I am so awesome. Oh, hang on. What happens if I turn it? Ooh, yeah, that works. There now, cleared it. So yeah, having something that's set up for pallets, something that's set up for big bags, something that's set up for bales. You don't have to switch over the loader arms quite so frequently. Let's lift that up. There we go. I know a fair number of farmers I watch on YouTube in real life tend to have, when they have a lot of vehicles, they tend to have vehicles set for specific tasks. So stacking bales, I've got one tractor that has a bale spike, and shoveling silage, I have one tractor that's got a shovel for silage, that type of thing. Okay, you can turn off now. Parked it in at least the right place. How much more barley have we got here? Oats. Oh, we got 22,000 litres of oats, which is more than a tank load. Well, that's a bit bah. Because this, oh no, this takes 24. Okay. So, grass has been planted. Manure has been moved. I need to move the slurry at some point. Like I said, probably rent a big tanker to move that in fewer loads, because we've got we've got 1.9 million litres of the stuff to transfer. But I will do a little bit of farming off camera just to tidy things up from today. We'll definitely be in July 2 or July 3 for the next episode. Depends if I can find enough work to do in July 2. I can. Yeah. We need to move on with the farm, so that will be a thing that I'm doing. But I think for right now, I will say I hope you all have a good weekend, good week next week, and we'll be back next Saturday. But for right now, I'm out of here.